What's going on, you guys? Indead right here. Wanted to make a brand new video for y'all. So today we are looking at the PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge controller. I got one here a little while back in the mail. Never ended up actually opening it up. So let's go ahead and do that. I was waiting to make this video because I can't even play with the damn thing yet until I make the damn video. So let's go ahead and check it out. My new game room is still under work, so we're out here in the kitchen for now, but we'll get that game room up and running soon, and then we'll be checking that out as well. All right, so here we go. DualSense Edge wireless controller for the PS5. So in the box, you have the DualSense Edge itself, a USB braided cable, which they were really showcasing that high quality cable in here. The two standard caps, so these are basically like the standard controller joystick caps, and they're going to be interchangeable just like it was with the series controller and house scuff controllers and stuff that have been in the past. Not series, the elite controllers for the Xbox One, and then the Series X now. Two high dome caps, two low dome caps, two half dome back buttons, two lever back buttons, connector housing, carrying case, and instruction manual. So let's go ahead and crack it open and see what the hell's inside here. So here again we have a close-up view of the box itself. Definitely curious to see what all this feels like in your hand, especially those paddles, because I got really used to playing with the back button attachment, the official one they did for the PS4 controller, and not having that on the PS5 controller was definitely a bummer when you kind of got overly used to it. So again, ultra customizable controls, mappable back buttons, DualSense wireless controller features built in, replaceable stick modules, and then they have their, kind of typical warnings you would see on the back as well. And again, Sony's the only one that actually sells this. You can't buy this from a normal retailer. You have to get it directly from their website. So it's a bit of a bummer, but I get it. All right, well, I've had this thing like since launch, so I'm ready to crack this thing open. I said I've been waiting to do this video, so let's get that cracked open. Slide this out. All right, so there's a look inside. Absolutely nothing. It's just an outer, housing for this box here. There's a little trap door here in the back. I wonder what that is. Pop it open. Oh, yeah, this is very reminiscent of the series. I mean, the Elite controller for Xbox One. I keep saying that. That's just a spacer. I don't believe there's anything down in there. Get that out the way. And now here is the magic itself. Nice little protectant sleeve, and then yeah, this one comes with, oh, this is actually different. I thought this is actually like a hard plastic. I thought it was all going to be kind of this type of mesh style, but it's not. Okay, so we have the hard plastic there, real nice PlayStation logos. I dig that. And then this is just a stylized touchpad. Does that come down? Figured that would actually come down so you could charge it, but I guess we'll look into it real quick. The unveiling. Oh, this thing's heavy. This thing's real heavy. So up here we've got the cable. So this is going to be a full USB-C, standard type thing. Got a nice little twisty tie on there. I'm assuming it's a full 10 foot. I do not recall. This is going to be definitely your cable management style stuff there. So here you have this mesh netting up here. Actually, I wonder what this goes for. This is probably just like instructions. Actually, it's probably exactly what that is. Here you have your mesh netting. This is kind of a guard to help protect the, to like kind of lock in place here around the buttons so the controller doesn't go anywhere when it's inside there. Pop this up and out. And then there's the controller itself. So I always get like a really big kick whenever they're like a texture. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, I always get a big kick whenever they put PlayStation logos on stuff. I know this right here on the back of the controller is actually all, PlayStation symbols, so that's super duper dope. I get a big kick out of that. And I had the Days of Play PS4, the blue and gold one they did, and it had the logos all up here. It was kind of like more printed on, but this is definitely like, actual etchings, engravings and stuff, so that's super duper dope. You got your like semi-translucent buttons over here. Again, joysticks. buttons chilling, and then you have your adapted triggers. They actually have look at that, they even have the PlayStation texture here on those, so that's dope. And then again, these are your function keys, so you can basically program these
to be like a macro shortcut for changing inputs and stuff like that. So there's probably a separate software menu that you navigate through all of that. Here's where you would attach the actual paddles, and then up here are going to be your locks. So you can basically change how far down the actual controller is able to go and still have it register a button. So they can go all the way down versus here at the bottom. You can only you can barely press it at all versus this goes all the way down to the plastic. So that's definitely the intention, you know, so you get in a game that'll let you do that with the adaptive triggers. You can just kind of shorten your range, so a small little press would be the same thing as pushing all of this before you get like the full readout. You know, it wouldn't be useful for a racing game, but it'd be useful for a shooter and so on. And then here on the underbelly, we have the actual release mechanism. So you basically pull this little trigger, obviously easier to do when you're not holding the camera. You have this little trigger right here. You pull that, and that whole front plate just pops off. Kitten. Whole front plate pops off. Kitten. So with that there, this is how you would actually get in and then switch out those modules. Oh, is this do you pull this lever? Is this like a release? Yep. So you pull this lever and it actually kicks them up out of place. Here comes the cat. Pulls the mechanism out of place, then they just slide back. It's basically just a lock that helps fix them in place. Hello. So you would just lock them in place like this. Excuse me, I'm filming. Excuse me. I guess this is where we are now. Anyway, so you would lift up this mechanism. It kicks out the little thing. You switch that out. Forgive me if you hear some noise. The cat has insisted that I open up the window so it can watch the birds. So you may hear a little chitter chatter and stuff from her. You do have to... I was kind of overly used to the Elite controllers where these caps really are just magnetic and pop right off. You really do have to pull these a lot harder to get these off for this controller, but in general, it's not really a problem. In fact, it's probably for the better because that means they're not going anywhere. But yeah, here's an example of like a low cap versus one of these high cap ones here. And you really just line it up and just kind of shove it. And then again, snap it back in place here with the mechanism, like so. And then now you have a high cap instead of a low cap, alternative style stick, you know, whatever's comfortable for you. So say, for example, you maybe want to use, maybe you like the convex traditional kind of DualShock era joysticks 1, 2, and 3. You want to use this style more so than the DualShock 4 era, DualSense era. And then, but say you wanted to use like a high cap, say on your right stick over here, so that you could have maybe greater range of motion for the sake of like using a sniper in a game or something like that. That's where these alternative caps really come into play. All right, last couple things. Let's check this out. So we do have the lock mechanism. This is the hardcore, you know, heavy duty one that they designed here for the controller. Just a lot of this is not intended to be done with one hand. So you would take that, and then on the actual cable itself, you would just feed this through here. Yeah, so you would do this with it. Slide that in there. Push that out the end, and then you're just going to close the door and lock the mechanism in place. And now you have this heavy duty connector coming out, and that would actually snap right in. It even has a lock mechanism right there, so you would just line that up, push that in place, and then while that's in, you can push this and actually lock it in, and so now it's not going anywhere, which means say you drop it or whatever else, it's going to stay nice and firm and sturdy. It's not going to jack up the port, you know, it's not going to be yanked out. But if you do want it to be able to be yanked out, and say someone's running by and they trip and pull it, there you go, it goes out like that. So it's got its own built-in fail-safe in that regard. All right, now let's check out these triggers here on the back, because that's kind of half the point of this controller. At least that's the main reason why I would want one. So cool. And then these are the alternative style ones if you just want a simple little rather than kind of these small low pro ones. These are these overly pronounced ones. And what you would do in this case, looks like they're not labeled a discrete way. It looks like they're fully interchangeable. Come on now. None of this is designed to be done with one hand. So instead you would have these, and you line them up like so here. Hello. Hello. Yeah, so in this case, once these are in place, instead of having this big low pro thing, instead you would just have this small little micro range. You know, this is, you know, a wider throwaway out here versus this one here is this real short, almost like a middle finger type bump rather than like a ring finger bump. You know, whatever's kind of just more convenient for you. Just kind of depends, whatever your style is. Kitten. But yes, that is my overlook here at the actual DualSense Edge controller. Kitten, you're in the way. Big time. At the DualSense Edge controller. I'm looking forward to playing with this because my stupid guilty pleasure is the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare series games. And they have a very... Do you mind? They have a very traditional, like, press and hold the circle button to revive an ally, and I got so used to be able to do that, and just mapped to a to one of the paddles, and then using that on a DualSense controller was definitely kind of a bummer because it. Whoa! You're gonna mess up my. She knocked down my camera. I have my camera on that Series S. She knocked down my phone. Where'd my phone go? What'd you do? It already stopped filming anyway, so damn. Thanks, Kat. Anyway, but yes, I'm very much looking forward to very much looking forward to playing this, playing the PS5 and especially PS4 games with this controller. Now that I'll be able to use that back button attachment style thing again, so I think she's telling me it's time to go. It's time to focus on her. So anyway, this has been Indead. Here, let's flip this around. Anyway, this has been Indead. I will catch you guys later. And pieces. Boom. Cat, do you mind? I guess not. So, boom. Appreciate it, guys. Good to be back.